CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 meters. CQ, CQ20. Kilo 4, Mike, Delta, India, calling CQ20 and listening. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20. CQ 20 meters from Kilo 4, Mike, Delta, India. Kilo 4, Mike, Delta, India, calling CQ20 and listening. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 meters. Hello, CQ20 from Seneca, South Carolina. Here is Kilo 4, Mike, Delta, India. Kilowatt 4, Mike, Delta, India, calling CQ20, standing by.
Kilo 9, Victor Sierra.
Kilo 9, Victor Sierra from Kilo 4, Mike, Delta, India. The name is Scott, over.
Good evening, Scott. It's Jim from Wisconsin. Kilo 9, Victor Sierra. You're 5 and 9 into Wisconsin this evening. Good signal.
Okay, Jeff. Yeah, you're about a 5 and 6 here. Say 5 and 6 tonight. Got some static crashes that just started on me. I've been on the air here for probably about maybe an hour, and the band did a few different weird things since I've been on here. But yeah, got a good copy on you. Just a little bit lower on the S meter. I don't know what you're running. I'm in the northwest corner of South Carolina, and I'll turn it back to you to tell me what you're running, over.
The rig here is a Kenwood TS2000, and I'm currently running about 100 watts barefoot into a window that's configured as an inverted V about 35 feet at apex. And you're 5, 9 plus Wisconsin. Back to you.
Okay, copy the 5.9. Yeah, you're readable on the Wyndham antenna. I like those antennas. I have had a couple of them over the years. The TS2000, I had that radio for about 10 years as well. I enjoyed it. I wish I wouldn't have sold it. I'm running an ICOM 7610 here tonight. I left Kenwood and become an ICOM guy. I got to 7300 and had it for about 4 years or so. And then I got the 7610. Running an AL811 amplifier tonight, about 450 watts or so, and to a TA33 Junior by Mosley, about 21 feet, over.
Okay, roger that. Well, that explains a nice signal here in Wisconsin running a little bit of gas. Yeah, very good. I just worked the station out of London with my 100 watts barefoot, if you can imagine that. And took a while, but I finally made the contact there. In addition to the TS2000, if I need power, I can use an old SC230 amp piece kit. Maybe 450 watts out of that if I need the power, which I sometimes, if I'm not making the watt. I just thought to try that, but then I found to make a contact with that station. I was just going to ask you, the BC tonight, is that typical in the evening time?
I copied most of that, Jeff. What was the last question that you asked me about what was typical?
The band being pretty good at this time of night. Is that typical?
Well, over the last year or so, late night 20 meters has been okay. Yeah, I don't know who you talked to in London. I actually made a contact with the guy a little bit earlier, I believe in London too. I guess it was about an hour ago. But yeah, it's been okay. But we just had some storms about an hour and a half ago here. But the static crashes haven't been that bad, and then just they just started up about the time that I called CQ again. I've been on this frequency for over an hour. Over. Okay, yeah, I talked to Mike One Echo Mike Charlie. So yeah, well, there's a few of them out there tonight. Well, Jeff, it's nice to talk to you, and I'll look for you again when maybe our conditions between me and you are a little bit better. I think it's not telling me exactly how far apart me and you are right now, but I'd say we're roughly what 1,000 miles apart from each other. But you're doing a great job with the antenna and the power that you're running. And we'll just look for better band conditions down the log. I'll say 7-3 to you, Jeff, and we'll look for you again. Over. All right, Jeff, I'll say 7-3 to you. I had somebody move in here close to me as well. Kilo 9 Victor Sierra from Kilo 4 Mike Delta India. 7-3, Jeff. Kilo 4 Mike Delta India QRZ. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 meters. Here's Kilo 4 Mike Delta India calling CQ20 and listening. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 meters from Seneca, South Carolina. Here's Kilo 4 Mike Delta India calling CQ20 and listening. Any station, anywhere.
K4MDI, K4MDI from K1 Victor Golf Alpha, K1VGA, calling.
Kilo 1 Victor Golf Alpha from Kilo 4 Mike Delta India. The name here is Scott. Over.
Okay, Scott, very good. You're over S9 here. I'll take a closer look at the next go around, but good Q5 S9 signal. Name here is John, John, located in the state of Connecticut, where it's been quite a nice late spring day here. Go for a few more of these. Anyway, running about 100 watts, an old Kenwood TS940, and off center fed dipole up at about 40 feet. Thank you, Scott. K4MDI, K1VGA.
All right, K1VGA from K4MDI. Yeah, well, I'm located in the northwest corner of South Carolina. You're about the second or third person I've talked to tonight on a off-center fed dipole, so that must be the antenna of choice tonight. You're 5'9" here. Your signal is bumping around S7 to S9 at times, and looking good. Yeah, I was pointed away from you whenever you first called me, but hopefully I got the beam on you, and I'm doing a little bit better. But the operating conditions here are an ICOM 7610 of driving a AL811 amplifier, about 450 watts tonight, into a TA-33 Junior, up about 21 feet. K1VGA, K4MDI.
Okay, Scott. Sounds good. Yeah, you may be doing the work for both of us here. TA-33 is a good antenna. Been around for a long time. Has a good reputation. And yeah, I had a fair amount of aluminum in the air some years ago, but the maintenance was getting to me, so I decided the thing to do is to drop back to something a little bit easier to maintain. And yeah, I looked around. I tried the G5RV and some homebrew horizontal loops, and finally settled on this one. It's the big advantage of the off-center fed dipole is it's got an amazingly good SWR across pretty much, well, all the bands. I've got the Buckmaster 7-band model, which goes from 80 to 6 meters, and it's about 1.3, 1.4 to 1 SWR, more or less, on all the bands except for 15. The physics doesn't work out. You have to sacrifice something on the off-center fed dipole that gives you that SWR advantage. And the impedance match is just terrible on 15 meters. So what I ended up doing was just used a resonant line here and ended up cutting the transmission line to the point where at the right length you can actually transform the impedance, and that seemed to work reasonably well. So my SWR bridge can actually match the antenna on 15. It works out quite well, but you've got to be careful about exactly what length transmission line you use. It gets to be a little touchy, and so I've just done some work on that. Did some work on the rig gear too. So this has been kind of a fixing up the ham station year so far. I've been working one thing and another. Just dropped the off-center fed dipole a little earlier today, just to I was taking a tree down and looked several different directions, and it looked like there was a good 50-50 chance the tree was not going to fall the way I wanted it to. So decided best thing to do is to lower the antenna, and so everything worked out okay, and pulled it back up again. But yeah, it's a good antenna, and not as good as a beam, of course, but for a low maintenance piece of wire, it's not too bad. So back to, and your signal, by the way, Scott, is about 15 over 9. So both your antenna and your amplifier are doing a great job. So K4MDI, South Carolina, K1VGA, Connecticut. Bye.
All right, K1VGA from K4MDI. Yeah, well, that's great. Yeah, I understand the maintenance of the tower and antennas and all of that. Previous QTH that I had a TH7. I believe it was a TH7DX antenna by High Gain, and it was about 60 feet in the air. And yeah, going up and down the tower, working on that was definitely something else. So when I moved here and started working on putting a tower up, I found a crank up tower someone gave me. I took one of my Elmers up to see one of his friends, and he had the tower and wasn't going to put it up. So it was under a bunch of brush and leaves and dirt and everything else, and I brought it out and refurbed it and put it in the air. So tonight I'm running it down in the lowest position, which is 21 feet, and sometimes I'll crank it up to 40 feet, but I do pretty well with just it up 21 feet. But now when I need to do a little work on it, I just tilt it over and work on it on a ladder, and that makes it a lot easier. K1VGA, K4MDI, back to you.
Yeah, sounds good, Scott. K4MDI, K1VGA, and yeah, that's definitely the way to work on antennas done from the ground level. I've got a little. I lowered. I had a 70-foot tower right next to the house here for years, and some years ago, that's when I started to drop back on the amount of aluminum in the air. I also lowered the tower, and it's not a crank up. It's just it's an RG25, and just took some sections off and brought it back down to about 40 feet, a little less. And I've got a little work stand on it, and it's done pretty well over the years. But and from time to time, I toy with the idea of putting it back up again, but then I remember just how much work that was. So I did just recently sign up for the remote ham radio system, and using that, that's quite interesting. I compared the performance of a couple of their stations with the Flex radio and some higher antennas with the station I've had here, and surprisingly, it's my home station compares pretty well. They've got some monster stations with 200-foot rotating towers and triple stacked beams that, of course, are way outperformed. In fact, I was using it this morning. I was trying to work a station in Casablanca that was in a kind of in a pile-up and on 10 meters, and I just couldn't get through. I thought, well, let me flip over to remote ham radio. So I used their one of their monster stations at a kilowatt up in Maine, and no surprise, got through pretty quick. So I went from not being able to be heard to something like 20 over 9. So it's a little lower maintenance, but of course you gotta pay by the minute, just like the old long distance phone calls. I've got some pretty interesting stations that around the country, and in fact a couple places outside the country. But yeah, I've only been a member here for about 2 weeks, and still getting used to it. But it's an interesting setup, and I've decided that would be the compromise here between operating a low power station with a modest antenna and a high power station with a big antenna. Right? So yeah, the higher frequency seems to have calmed down, although 20 meters is still doing reasonably well. I think, I'm not sure if those solar flares we had a week or so ago were enough to kind of rattle the ionosphere, but yeah, the 10 meters is not quite as active as it was just a short while ago. So we'll have to wait to see if that comes active again. Back to you, Scott. K4MDI, K1VGA, bye.
Yeah, QSL, K1VGA from K4MDI. Yeah, fine business on the a remote ham radio. Yeah, I follow that guy on Facebook, and yeah, he's got a lot of monster stuff out there for sure. He's a real go-getter. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, I follow him on Facebook and see what he's doing out there, and that's neat. I had a remote station at one of my other locations, and I used it while traveling and stuff. And I could use this station remote as well, but yep, they've got a lot of expensive stuff out there for sure. But anyway. Well, John, it's been nice talking to you tonight, and I sure appreciate you answering my call. And I'm going to turn it back to you, but I'm going to see what else is out here as well tonight. I've got a little bit of time. I'm not going to have to go to bed as early as I normally have to, since I'm going to be off tomorrow. Looks like we're going to get some rain here, so I'm going to sleep in if I can. But K1VGA, K4MDI, back to you.
Scott. Great. K4MDI, K1VGA. Yeah, excellent. And yeah, I'll have to follow the Lower Dam Radio on Facebook to see what else is coming up. I haven't been doing that, but thanks for that information. And yeah, a little rain tomorrow up here is looks like it's in the cards too. So same thing. Get to to Monday to sleep in. Right? So that yeah, worked. Good to have a day off from work. So yeah, with that, I think I'll say 7-3. I did want to pass on that there was some stations here in heard earlier on 17 meters calling the Pacific. So I think there might be some long range propagation if you want to take a look at 17. And I think heard some European stations were pretty strong, so I think there's definitely some pretty good propagation around the 14 and 18 megahertz frequencies. So anyway, thanks for the QSO, Scott, and enjoy, and catch you later on. K4MDI, South Carolina, signed K1VGA, Connecticut, WQRT. Good night.
All right, John. Well, I appreciate you answering my call tonight. And yeah, I hope you the best of weeks ahead, and have a great day off tomorrow. 7-3 to you, and good night as well. K1VGA from K4MDI.
7-3.
Kilo 4, Mike Delta India, QRZ. My Power Master meter is falling off tonight, off of the stream. I don't know what's going on with it. CQ20, CQ20, CQ 20 meters. CQ, hello, CQ20. From Seneca, South Carolina, here's Kilo 4, Mike Delta India, calling CQ20 and listening.
Kilo 4, Delta Hotel.
Is it Kilo 4 Delta Hotel?
Kilo 4, Delta Hotel, QSL.
USL, Kilo 4 Delta Hotel from Kilo 4 Mike Delta India. The name is Scott, over.
QSL, hey Scott, my name is Heather, and you're a nice 5'9", 5'9" out of New Jersey, November Juliet. Back to you.
Well, QSL, Heather, you're a 5'9" here in the northwest corner of South Carolina. I'm about 15 miles west of the Clemson Tigers, and just thought I would get on tonight and see who was out there. So I appreciate you coming back to me.
Okay, QSL, I hope you're not too much of a Clemson fan. I went to Georgia, so we don't like the Tigers. Anyway, I'm about 20 miles west of New York City, and you know what? I got on the air about an hour and a half ago and called CQ. Ordinarily, no one ever comes back to me, but I had like 30 stations at a pileup. It was awesome. So I hope you have a pileup tonight. Back to you.
Yeah, I've been on here for probably about an hour and a half, and yeah, I haven't had much break, but it's been nice tonight. The operating conditions here are an ICOM 7610, driving an AL811 amplifier about 450 watts into a TA33 Junior up about 21 feet. So that's the operating conditions here tonight. I'm also I get on YouTube from time to time on Sunday evenings and stream, so I'm I'm streaming live, so you can go back. I've been on here live about 25 minutes, so you can look at that. You got a great fine signal here in South Carolina, and yeah, the Tigers. I've been kind of a fan. I don't, I only maybe watch one game a year. It's only because they're right here in my backyard, so not too much of a football fan. But yeah, I understand the rivalry between the Tigers and the Dogs. Over.
QSL, yeah, big rivalry. Although I have to say, I did pay attention to Clemson when y'all had Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback. What a kid. He's from Georgia, of course, so that was even more interesting. But yeah, it's too bad you had. I think you left a year early to go sign on to the Jaguars, maybe. So anyway, listen, I'll let you go and get some more stations, and I will also put you on the spotter. So hopefully we'll get some more hits to your call. So anyway, Scott, nice to talk to you. Have a great night. I think it's Memorial Day tomorrow. 73 and 88 K48.
All right, Heather, thanks for the contact tonight. 7388 to you as well. Kilo 4 Delta Hotel from Kilo 4 Mike Delta India. Kilo 4 Mike Delta India QRZ. Hello, CQ from Seneca, South Carolina. Here's Kilo 4 Mike Delta India calling CQ 20 meters and listening. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 meters. Hello, CQ20 from Kilo 4 Mike Delta India. Kilowatt 4 Mexico, Denmark, Italy calling CQ20 and listening. I must be getting some RF back into my Power Master USB. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 meters. CQ, CQ, CQ from Kilo 4 Mike Delta India. Kilowatt 4 Mexico, Denmark, Italy calling CQ20 and listening. CQ20, CQ20. Hello, CQ from Seneca, South Carolina. Here's Kilo 4 Mike Delta India. Kilo 4 Mexico, Denmark, Italy. Calling CQ20 and listening. CQ20, CQ20, CQ20 meters. Hello, CQ20 from Kilo 4 Mike Delta India. Kilo 4 Mexico, Denmark, Italy calling CQ20 and listening.